All right, what is up, Sztanyo Clanyo? Welcome in Tuesday afternoon. Time to go live and talk a little real estate. Why is it we call it the Clanyo? Because my name is spelled very funny, Sztanyo. My kids, I have 5 of them, play Clash of Clans, and the name of their clan is the Sztanyo Clanyo, and I think that's awesome. And so, my lovely subscribers and followers, thank you for subscribing, or if you haven't subscribed, thanks for checking this out. Are now part of the Sztanyo Clanyo. So we're going to talk some real estate today. What are we going to do today? We're going to talk some real estate. We're going to answer any questions you have. Feel free to jump into the chat. I'm going to show you a little behind the scenes look at what some of the realtor chatter has been this week in terms of, in my office, what people are feeling is happening in the market. Is the market cooling, or is it still red hot? I know the last several weeks, the last several months, it has been red hot for sellers. It has been really hard as buyers. And so there's a Facebook thread that happened in our kind of office's channel I want to share with you. And then after that, oh, got me. We did a video that we launched this week on if you're relocating to Cincinnati, what are some of the top school districts? And so I'm going to give you guys a live look into the MLS on getting a feel for the map of the area. A lot of you I know who subscribe to the channel came through maybe pros and cons of living in Cincinnati, that video that recently launched, and maybe you might be relocating to the city. And so I want to just show you some of those different areas. I'm going to show you in the MLS what is live on the MLS. Obviously, you can do that yourself on Realtor.com and Zillow, but I want to give you some different insights and thoughts about pricing and what's active and what's sold and where you might want to be thinking of relocating in the city. And of course, if you're watching this and want to jump in the chat, would love to have any questions you guys have, any comments, anything you want to know about the Cincinnati or Northern Kentucky area itself. Please drop a line in the chat. Would love to have you join in the conversation today as we go along here. So we'll be here we'll see how it goes. We'll see how many people show up. But I'll definitely walk you through a few things in terms of these different school districts, pricing, and kind of a market update. If you want to jump in the chat, please do. Glad you're here. Hope you're having a great day. All right, try not to choke this time. That's better. Okay. Guys, I hope you're having a great week. What's going on in my world right now this week? Let's see here. What do we got going on? It's summer. Summer's great. We had a pool day at my parents' in Florence, Kentucky on Saturday. Perfect. Late July in the Cincinnati area and August, it starts to get like that consistent 90-degree heat where the pools warm up to that 82 to 84 degree temperature, and it's just pleasant. Makes for good pool days. Makes for miserable anything else days. Okay, first thing I want to do, and I watched some OBS training videos this week, so I think I've got this figured out a little bit better on the tech side. Hopefully my audio is coming through a little bit better. But I think I figured out how to transition. Let's check it out here. Bam! Into this, into showing my desktop. So it's amazing what watching a few YouTube videos will do when it comes to learning this stuff. So please use. Okay. All right. So first thing I want to show you guys in the Keller Williams Advisors Office Group. This question came in from my man, Aaron Smith. This guy is amazing. He was my real estate coach for a year plus and knows what he is doing. And he asked, hey, this was 2 days ago. So we're streaming July 27th. On July 25th, he said, anyone feel like the market has cooled off on activity the last couple of weeks? And just want to show you guys a little behind the scenes look here at what the real estate agents are feeling. So, first answer, Miranda Beyer. Yes. Doug Mansler. Yes. Abby Brown. Yes. So these are a couple of the top agents in the office, all three of them, and then Amber as well. I do all four of them saying we're feeling the market cooling off. What does that mean? Well, we've been talking about the last few weeks here, the idea that the last few years it's been a seller's market that has exacerbated because of not only COVID, but probably more bigger picture because of the lack of supply being built by builders and over the last 10 years, and the amount of millennials who are buying homes. And so all of that has kind of combined with COVID. And what happened with COVID is you had less sellers want to sell and you had more buyers want to buy. So the supply and demand got even crazier, and it's become a crazy hot market, and everything's been over ask price. You've probably seen your neighbor's house sell for way more than you thought it should sell for, and you're thinking to yourself, should I be selling my house? But then you're thinking 2 seconds later, well, then what am I going to do if I sell my house? Then I'm going to have to buy a super expensive house. Well, so the question is, has the market been cooling? So we continue on here, and Aaron says, can anyone share how showing activity has been on any of your recently listed homes compared to other listings over the last couple months? I feel like all the buyers went on vacation. And so let's read through this thread a little bit more. Amber says, Leah probably has some insight. Leah said, don't remind me. She said, my home in Marymount, which is a super hot area in Cincinnati, lovely community, great schools, old-timey kind of feel. Marymount has only had 8 showings in 9 days. It's in the mid-400s, but I definitely expected more action. My listing on the west side was $160,000 and only had 6 showings and 1 offer in 48 hours. Okay, so we're in a weird time where this feels like not a lot of activity on listings, because what has happened from February until early July, I would say mid-June, early July, is that you would put your listing out there and within minutes you would have showings lined up, and within a few hours you'd have 10 showings lined up, and within a day you'd have maybe 15 or 20 showings lined up. And out of those showings, you might get 2, 3, 4, 5 offers regularly. I had a showing just a few, probably about 6 weeks ago now in St. Bernard. It was a flip, and it had, I don't know how many showings, but we had 20 offers within 2 days. And that's where it's been. Uncle Chuckles, what's up? How's it going, chat? It's going great because you're here, Uncle Chuckles. Thanks for showing up. If you got any questions for me, let me know. So for Leah then to say, hey, my Marymount, which is a super hot area, has only had 8 showings in 9 days. It's in the mid-400s, which is a decent price. Like in Marymount, you can definitely see homes in the 500, 600, 700s, 800s. She's feeling it. Okay, let's keep going here. Compare that to a month or 2 or 2 months ago when my listings were booked solid and I had 12 plus offers. Totally feeling that. Uncle Chuckles, hey, I'm good. Wasn't sure if it was live or not. Glad you commented. It is live. So welcome in. Yes, we're live. Join the conversation. I'm Aaron. I texted you over the weekend for rental options. I'm going to buy, but want to rent for a year first. Totally get it. Yeah, it was good chatting with you. I wish I could be more helpful on the rental front. It's like I unfortunately have nothing to offer you. I could talk to you about different areas if you have questions about that. And I know you said you had cats, I believe. But the rental market in a buyer's market where there's more inventory, sellers will put rentals on the MLS, and we can kind of feed those to you. But right now, your search for a rental is as good as mine, basically, by going to Google and doing either a Zillow search or a Realtor.com or an Apartments.com, or the other place I usually send people is like Facebook Marketplace, because then you might get people who just, landlords who might have, they're not as, you'll get professional property management on there, but you also get people who are listing their, their rental property. Maybe they don't have a ton. And so that's another place to check. So hope that helps, Aaron. Okay, going back to this thread here. So 2 months ago, listings were booked solid, 12 plus offers. And Aaron replies, says, yep, that's the same thing I'm seeing with 3 of our newer listings. Sales are up, but the wind ain't blowing. Know what I'm saying? And I love Aaron because he's always got these clever little phrases. He's not saying sales, S-A-L-E-S. He's saying the sales are up for my listings, meaning we've got the photos up, we've got the house cleaned, we're ready to go and sell, but the activity is not there like it was maybe just a few weeks ago. Yeah, Uncle Chuckles, I got it. Is there any property management companies that offer it? If you that offer rentals, I think is what you're asking. Like if you search on Facebook Marketplace or those different places, you might see the same property management companies come up. And then maybe you can reach out to them. I'm trying to think. This is just not a world I'm super tied into with right now. And so I really wish I could give you something better than I have in terms of the rental front. So sorry, that's kind of a lame answer. All right, I want to keep going here. Danny Barron, good friend of mine, monster realtor, young guy, and has grown his team. I love Danny, and he's getting married soon. But he's a super dude. Okay, Danny says, Aaron Smith, we have not experienced what feels like even half of the traction we did a few months ago, but we are naturally pricing higher too with all these new comps. I'm starting to believe what you... Okay, let's stop there for a second. So Danny's got listings. He's saying that we're not getting half the amount of activity, so showings, offers, as we did a few months ago. But we're naturally pricing higher too with all these new comps. So here's what you're kind of starting to see is everyone knows it's a seller's market. Everyone sees that home that sold down the street and they're like, they got $415 for that. Well, my house could go for $425. And realtors are thinking the same thing too, right? Because until the market actually says, nah, too high, then, if you're a listing agent, you're trying to get the most money for your seller. That's your job. And so, yeah, you're going to push it. If the market is continuing to appreciate, you're going to push it. So that's what Danny is saying. He's saying we're naturally pricing it higher because we've got these comps. Then he goes to say, I'm starting to believe what you taught me 3 years ago, that July 4th, and I was in this class with Danny. We went through class together with my man Aaron Smith. He said that July 4th until back to school is slow. Prior to this, I did not believe it. So you have this, there's a typical flow to the real estate calendar in that it's slow during usually December and January during the holidays and Christmas, and nobody wants to go out in freezing cold January. And then it starts to pick up in February, and in March for sure, in April and May and June is kind of the peak. And then we hit July. And so the people, when you think of a lot of people who are buying and selling in the spring summer season, it's a lot of people in general, but it's also a lot of families, because if you're moving, particularly if you're moving school districts, you want to get that done on kind of the front end of spring, so that everything is, you maybe have to sell another house and you can do all that and have room to get settled and into the new place before school starts, right? So that's why you see a big peak in the normal residential sales real estate calendar of May and June being very popular. And then in July, a lot of those people have found their homes, or they're like, it's time to take a break. It's time to go on vacation. And it slows down a little bit from July to August. And so it's kind of hard to say right now. Is that what we're feeling? Just kind of that summer sluggishness, or is the market actually cooling? Let's just keep going through here and talk a little bit more. So he said, I didn't believe it. And then Aaron Smith said, bingo, Danny. I tell everyone that July 4th is the beginning of the summer slump. It's the vacation season. I think that's what's happening right now. So Aaron, I think, has a beat on this thing more than most people. I always trust his feel for the market. He's got his finger on the pulse, and he's saying, oops, I didn't switch this back. Aaron is saying, yeah, I think that July is the beginning of that summer slump. Danny said, I've never forgotten you saying it. I've just never seen it. Now I believe. And Aaron said, Danny, 2020 was different because was there even a back to school or vacation time? The pendulum swings again. So, Aaron is saying last year was weird because school was weird and nobody really took vacations. And so it was kind of a weird year for the normal real estate calendar. But this year, what we might be feeling right now, so if you're listing a house, you might be feeling like, hey, why didn't I get the 20 showings that you said I was going to get, listing agent? This happened to me with a client recently where I think we hit just the front end of this. It was about a month ago now. And we put their house on the market. It was super cute. They had fresh paint, fresh flooring, priced right, comps in the neighborhood. And I put what I've been putting on listings, which a lot of people have been putting on listings as agents, which is, hey, we put it, I think we went active on Friday, and we said, come on in, make your offers, give us your highest and best, and leave the offer open until Sunday night, and we'll pick a winner. And that's basically what has been happening all year. But the weird thing was we weren't getting the offers. We weren't getting the showings or the offers. I was like, oh, what just happened? Did we overprice this? And I went back and looked and compared it to the comps. I'm like, no, we're good. What's going on? And I think we were hitting the beginning of this summer season is honestly what I think. And I think it's part that. And I also think the other part of it is there's buyer fatigue. That is definitely setting in. I think we talked about this last week in the video where buyers who are a little gun shy and they're worn out and they're like, I don't want to go out there and fight 20 people and 10 offers and just to be told that we didn't win the house again. And it's really emotional. It's emotionally draining for buyers. Buyer fatigue is kind of the industry term, right? Where it's frustrating to fall in love with a house and put an offer in and not get it. And so what happened with that listing I had was it went the first weekend, it went the second weekend, and then on the Monday, it was day 9 of the listing, we got 2 offers that day. It's almost as if the buyers were waiting to see, is it going to make it a week? Because I don't want to fight other offers. I just want to pick a house that I like. And then we had multiple offers on the 9th day, and we ended up getting full asking price for it. I think we're right at it, really close. And but it was weird. It was that was not what had happened all year. And so all of these agents now are feeling this same thing of yep, something's getting pulled back here a little bit. So Danny said 100,000%. That's not a real number, Danny. It can't be 100,000%. Math. Okay. So what does that even mean? 100,000%. All right. Oh, okay. Some cosmic wisdom. What's up? Do you see the rental market being crazy like buying a house? Great question, cosmic wisdom. Yeah, I do, honestly. And so on the, let's go back to that thought on what I said about builders not building single family over the last 10 years. A lot of where they put that energy into was multifamily. So after the '08 recession, a lot of investors and a lot of builders were trying to build big apartment buildings. But rents kind of kept going up. And because there wasn't, like if you go to buy a single family home and you're a first time home buyer, it's hard to find any new construction, at least in the Cincinnati area, under $300,000. And $300,000 for a first time, that's very steep for a first time home buyer. And so now you're looking at this limited amount of inventory of older homes, basically, that might be like, because really what you're looking for as a first time home buyer, at least I know where I was $200,000 and less. And there's just not a ton of that inventory out there. It's not being built. There's no new builds for 200 and less, or very few of them, or they're small, right? So you're buying some. So now you're either fighting for that inventory, or you're renting. And you're like, well, I'd rather rent than buy this 2-bedroom house for $200,000. So, and then the other thing is just you got to think through it like economically. From a macro economic standpoint, this is a big discussion, both culturally and politically, is like, are wages keeping up? Are wages keeping up with inflation? And ultimately the answer is no. I mean, I don't want to get too political, but the reason why like people like Bernie have so many, and the reason why Occupy Wall Street was a thing several years ago was this idea of the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer, and the middle class kind of like dissipating. And so when you have a lot of people leaving the middle class and like not being able to keep up competitively wage wise, that's only going to push up more demand for rentals. And I think really where there's because builders right now, I mean, they're finally like, oh, holy crap, they're going to buy, like we need to build, and they're working on it. But they've got to catch up. Like they're behind by millions of units. And so, yes, to answer your question, Cosmic Wisdom, I think the rental market is kind of crazy. And I'm not so much in that world right now. I do some flipping, but I'm not doing a lot of buy and hold rentals, but I hear from my friends who are investors in the rental space where they're getting same. It's kind of like the buyers on the listings where you might have so many applicants within a few hours, and people are saying we'll pay more to get in because they're having trouble finding a spot. Good. I have a house I'm rehabbing to be ready for rent soon. Yeah, you should be in good shape. So yeah, I do think, and I think, unless something radical happens policy-wise, just from a pure, again, economic standpoint, a lot of money is being dumped into the economy through the kind of different stimulus payments, and prices are going up. Everyone's kind of starting to feel that inflation, and wages, there's like a little, but the minimum wage hasn't been raised yet. And maybe state by state it has a little bit. I'm not really sure, but nationally it hasn't. So that's just going to keep putting pressure on that rental market for sure. And I think kind of coming out of this, affordable housing is really an area that might kind of take off. Okay. There's certainly a need for it. Greg Coolidge, we've been focusing in on year-over-year trends for the last 3 years with our company because we've been feeling the same. What we've seen consistently over all 11 locations across 8 states is that we're all within about an average of 10 to 13% decrease in agreements gained, both listings and buyers, and contracts written. So they're down 10%. Obviously, some markets are performing better and not so well as others, yet the consistency is what makes us feel better. It then turns the corner and picks back up the last week of August, first week of December. Same thing that Aaron said, because last week of August, kids are back into school. Around here, it's usually like mid-August, I believe, maybe early to mid-August. And so once everyone is back into school and settled, then you might start shopping again because you're back in the rhythm of the school year. Historically, one of our lenders' best months annually is October for closed business. So that tells you what happens. So that means you're buying or selling houses in September. So there's a kind of a slow in July, back up in September. Hope that helps provide some insight. Remember though, if you double down, so this is real estate encouragement. Remember, if you double down right now, don't act like the market has slowed. Keep putting in the work. What would your September, October look like? Real estate cheerleading. Greg Coolidge, good insight. Every July, August, this happens with the exception of 2020. Good to know you're feeling the same. Aaron Smith, we even saw it last year, believe it or not, but yeah, for sure, glad to help. Okay. Thanks for asking. Good to know others are feeling the shift too. So when you're an agent out on your own, you're like, what's going on? Sometimes it's just like padding your emotions if you don't have a lot of business coming in. But there's enough people in this thread that are saying like, yeah, we're all feeling it. Hunter said, just had 10 groups of people come to my open house for a listing. For sure it's slowing down, but this is most people I've had in open. So this is the one where it's like, that was a little different. A lot of people are out in the open house. And Katie said yes, and Katie's a really great agent. Yes, and seeing so much cold feet. So that's the other thing besides buyer fatigue is that buyers are getting a little bit pickier, where it's like, okay, if I'm going to be spending this much money on a house, if all the houses have appreciated this much, then I better for damn sure, excuse my language, get the house that I want. And that makes perfect sense. Like, I know why they would say that. And so now you've got not only some buyer fatigue, but you've got buyer cold feet setting in where it's like, nah, I don't like this one because blah, 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 blah. And whereas in March, people were like, I don't give a crap. What's wrong with this house? Give me the house. And they were throwing 20 grand over ask price and waiving inspections. So we're in a little bit of a different time. Just wanted to give you guys that feel for what's happening in the market and a little behind the scenes look from the other agents in my office, other agents that I trust and are competent and good at their jobs. They're all kind of feeling it out. I don't think, can you guys see that? Oh, you can't see Katie, can you? Oh yeah, you can at the bottom there. No, you can't. Never mind. Well, just believe me on what Katie said about cold feet. Okay, so here's what I wanted to do in this video. Thanks you guys for joining. Thanks for watching. Feel free to ask any questions you have in the chat. Would love to respond to you on that. And but what I wanted to do besides that little behind the scenes update on what's going on in the market, what we're feeling as agents, is go through some of the different school districts in the area and give you a feel for what's active on the market, maybe look at what's pending and sold as well. But I know that a lot of you have joined the channel recently. There's a truck backing right towards me right now. And I'm on the second floor. Okay, he finally turned. That was scary. I had to make sure I didn't need to bail from my office real quick. So I wanted to go through some of these different school districts, show you where they're at on the map, and give you a feel for some of the prices you might see in those areas. And to this point about buyer fatigue and buyer cold feet. I have a few clients that I'm working with right now. One who reached out from Japan. So hello, you know who you are. Thanks for contacting us. Her family is moving to Northern Kentucky, got a job here, and what I've kind of been coaching people to do is, like, because the market has been so hot now, right now it might be coming back a little. You might have like a little window between now and September where it's cooling a little bit, which is great. But if you are in this spot where you're like, yeah, I know it's hot and maybe I'm moving in from out of town and I don't have a lot of time to see houses, maybe I have a weekend to come see some houses. But even if you come in on the weekend and you find something you love, and you put an offer on it, excuse me, you've got to kind of be guaranteed that you win that offer that weekend. And obviously, as your agent, I'm going to try to help you do that and get a hold of the other agent, find out how many other offers they have, find out what, if there are any parts of the offer we can make more attractive to the seller, whether that's a longer closing date or no closing costs or shorter inspection period, or some things you can do that's not just price to help give you a better offer or a better chance. But the risk there is if you're moving into town and you don't have a lot of time to see houses, is that what if you don't get that one, which has happened a lot to people this year. Obviously, we want to try to win the deal, but you might not be able to win it right then. So I feel like I'm kind of the specializing a little bit more in new construction, but a big reason why I'm doing that is particularly for people who are moving into the city. I think it makes a lot of sense right now, and particularly in this market where it's really hard to get something under contract. And if you are waiting to get, if buyers are having cold feet because you want the house you really want, then I'm like, well, then pay just a little bit more and check out all these different models of the new construction where you can literally get exactly what you want in the house. And whether that's with a, like a larger builder like Fisher Homes or Drees or MI Homes and choosing from one of their designs, or a custom builder where you can literally move the walls wherever you want. That might make more sense for you if you're moving to the city and, trying to beat out all the other buyers. Cosmic Wisdom, have you seen a lot of people coming in to move from higher cost areas, east or west coast, looking at houses? Great question. I have. And the first one of the reasons why I continue to do this YouTube channel, I'm really enjoying doing it. But I did a video, maybe been 2 summers now, on cost of living in Cincinnati. And if you live here, like cost of living relative to the rest of the country is pretty cheap. Like it's a very affordable city that offers a lot of big city amenities, but at a lower cost of living than places on the east or west coast, like New York or Boston or Seattle or San Francisco or LA or Chicago, different places like this. And so, if you move to Cincinnati, there's some things you have to accept that you might not like, right? We're not close to mountains. We're not close to an ocean. And, we don't have California weather. We don't have New York City opportunities, maybe something like that. But there are a lot of things that are going for us, and that's probably a lot of you watched the pros and cons video. And I love, by the way, I feel like I'm a real YouTuber now because the comments are starting to get mean. And I'm like, oh, great. Like, I've arrived. Like, the negative comments are coming out, which is great. I feel like people are jumping in and giving a different look than just the rosy realtor pros and cons of the city, which I'm trying to sell you people, as you can tell. But yes, the answer to your question is, and this is, that was one of the thoughts I had right when COVID hit, which was like, if you are working from home and you don't have to go back into the office and you're renting a 600 square foot place somewhere on the coast for like, who knows, $3,000 or something a month, and you took that $3,000, or let's just say, $3,000 a month payment, like what would that buy you in Cincinnati? It would buy you like a mansion, basically, right? It would buy you like 4,500 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, like, and that's kind of the idea of why I started doing some of these videos. It's like, like a lot more people were considering moving back from the coast to the Midwest. And what I saw when I looked on YouTube for Cincinnati was like, nobody's really representing our city very well from a real estate agent standpoint. And that's kind of the whole idea of this channel is like, I want to represent the city well. I want to educate you on where you might want to live if you are coming here because, cost of living is great. It's a great place to raise a family. And then you could, if you're making that same amount of money working from home or whatever, or you transfer to a job here, you could dump it all into a larger space, or you could, maintain a certain lifestyle and then start saving and investing that money or using it for other purposes. And so that's a huge benefit in my opinion, of living in this city, versus other more expensive places. So take advantage of that. So yeah, I am seeing that. So we've got, I've helped this year some buyers who moved here from Dallas, some buyers from California. Working with somebody who just moved here from Massachusetts. I mentioned the buyer earlier from Japan. Where else? Hawaii, moving here. And you guys keep contacting me with leads from other places. So it's awesome. Thank you. It's awesome. I hope that these videos are helpful for you and you're getting a feel for what's going on here in the area. And I'd love to help you find the right home. The whole tagline of this is find your home, strengthen your family. And the belief is we believe home is where families grow strong together. And so I did a video on this. It hasn't gone live yet, but I kind of started railing against this idea of a dream home. I think you should choose a home that you really like and that serves your family. But I also believe that if you think a home or any kind of purchase is going to be this level of satisfaction for you that's going to fulfill all your dreams, I'm not super into that idea. Because it is, after all, just a home. It's you, the people, your family, and what's happening inside of it that makes that place special and kind of makes it come to life. So it's a blend. I'm not totally against it. I just think that don't put all of your hopes and dreams into a house, because it's going to let you down, most things in life that you buy. Okay, so we're 37 minutes in, and I haven't gotten to what I wanted to start doing on this video, but I love talking with you guys about it. All right, here's what I want to do. Let me jump over here. Oh, good. Okay. And I want to show you just a look at what's going on price-wise. And let's start with this. Okay. So in the relocation video I did, I talked about some different school districts that are maybe rated a little bit higher. You can choose to live anywhere. If school districts don't matter to you, I can do another video on that. But some of the more higher rated school districts on the Cincinnati side are going to be, and why don't I pull up a map real quick here? Cincinnati, Ohio, and show you kind of where all of the, some of the school districts on the east side of the city, Forest Hills, so Anderson Township, which is kind of right over here, and Turpin High School and Anderson High School. Sycamore schools, which is kind of this Blue Ash, Kenwoodish area, are rated highly. And then up here, Mason schools are rated really highly, and the Lakota schools, which are going to be more in this Westchester region, both rated highly. So kind of on the east and north side of the city are where most of the top-rated Cincinnati school districts are. In Kentucky, the top school districts are here in Fort Thomas. Hoping you guys can see this all right. Oh, you can't. Hang on. Sorry. Let me try to get this to fit to screen real quick. Hang on. Canvas output. How do I do this? See, guys, I'm gonna have to figure this out later. Oh, got it. Fit to screen. I don't think that did anything. Okay, so in Kentucky, you've got, let's see, I'm trying to look at what you're looking at here. Let's move this over. You have Fort Thomas schools, which are some of the top-rated schools. You have Fort Mitchell is where Beechwood schools are, right here. So those are closer to the city. And then as you get more out into the burbs, you have Boone County schools, which are out here in Union. Well, you have Boone County School. It's like right here. That's where I went to high school in Florence. And then you also have Ryle High School and you have Cooper High School, which is kind of more between Burlington and Union out here. And a lot of growth is happening out here in Union. We've done some videos on Triple Crown Country Club, which is kind of right down here-ish. No, wait. Yes. And Ballyshannon. Here's Triple Crown Country Club. Ballyshanon's up here-ish. A lot of growth is happening in Union, in Boone County, and a big part of that is Amazon is dumping like $2 billion into a distribution center here in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky. So a lot of those funds are, there's a lot of infrastructure kind of being built to support a lot of growth that's going to happen in Boone County here. And then the other place that is rated fairly high is Campbell County Schools, which is out here in Alexandria. Let's see, where is the high school? AJ Jolly. Anyway, out here in Alexandria. So let's take a look really quick at some of these homes so you get a feel. So I did 4 bedrooms. We could do that to 3, but I just did 4 bedrooms that are active. And right now I'm looking at Fort Thomas. In Fort Thomas, it's hard to get in there. There's only 7 houses on the market, and they range from $340,000 to $720,000. And let's take a look. Just had a few of these. This one I actually went and showed to a couple. This one is a decent amount of house, but their original price was $390,000. They're down to $350,000 now. It needs some work. It does need some work, but it is a lot of house. It's on kind of a busier road in Fort Thomas, on a corner. It needs some updates. It doesn't show super well. The kitchen needs some work, but it is a lot of house in Fort Thomas. So that's one for $350,000, and they've been on the market 69 days. So clearly, most everything has gone under contract in like 3 days. So days on market, all of these means they're basically all overpriced. So you got 69 days on the market, 32, 42, 18, and 26. So these are all people who are like, well, if they got that, I should be able to get $625,000 for my house. And yeah, okay. I mean, you can try. This looks like a nice home, but it's also $625,000. So people are just saying, yeah, a little too rich for my blood. So you can tell with these houses, they're a little older. I mean, most of the houses in Fort Thomas are at least like 90 years old, or a lot of them are. And so you can see these older fireplaces, and they're not open floor plans. They're smaller rooms. A lot of them have 3 stories. So that's a look at Fort Thomas. Let me look at one more here. This one's been out there 26 days. 4 bedrooms, and it's listed at $720,000. They originally listed for $780,000. Now they're at $720,000. This is a cool street though. So let's look through here. This one looks like, and Fort Thomas kind of backs up to the river. This is one of my favorite streets. I love this view. So this view is overlooking Lunken Airport, and actually my office is kind of like right down here, across the Ohio River. So you're in Kentucky, in Fort Thomas, kind of looking over the Ohio River into this right here is the valley of the Little Miami River coming down in Lunken Airport. Anyway, little geography lesson. So yeah, this home's wide open. Looks like it's got some views. That's for $720,000 in Fort Thomas. So Fort Thomas, again, great schools, got an updated kitchen, nice home. But again, if you're not, and maybe in this price range, it's not super uncommon to see it sit a little bit longer because you have less buyers in this price range than you do in the 300s, 400s, or even 200s. So Okay, let's jump from here. You know what? Before we leave Fort Thomas, let's look at what has sold in the last. Let's go just the last 90 days. 22 homes have sold in the last 90 days. And the average list price was $518. The average sale price was $509. But you see even some homes sold in the 200s in Fort Thomas. So you can get into Fort Thomas in the 200s. These are 4-bedroom homes. They look like some Cape Cods. Not huge, but someone's making good use of this space. 4 beds, 3 baths, and it sold for over ask price at $255, 6 days on the market in Johnson Elementary. So that's on the north side. So a little smaller home, but to get into Fort Thomas in the 200s right now, you're doing good. You are doing good. And so then here's some homes that sold in the 300s on Lumley. I know this street. I walk down this street all the time. 2 days on the market. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, built in 1925. So again, you got this older style home in Fort Thomas. A lot of character, always going to be a lot of woodwork in these homes. You're not going to have open floor plans, but you'll usually see updated kitchens like these, updated baths. Cute. And let's go back. Let's look at something in a little higher price range. Okay, this one sold in July. Let's do this one actually. 130 Highland, sold for $410, 4 bedrooms, 1 day on the market, listed for $415, sold for $410. Yeah, I know this house. This is my neighborhood, so I'm pretty familiar with Fort Thomas. Cute home. Oh, I love this street. This street is right across from Moyer Elementary. Very cute. Don't like the wallpaper. So somebody here had been living in this home for a while and they decided to cash out because they probably bought it for $80,000. Okay, so there you go. That is awesome. That is some design right there. Look at that. Wow. I mean, well maintained. I want to read the marketing remarks. There it is. Loaded with character. Very well maintained. Who sold this one? Adam Rosenhagen. I've worked with him. Yeah, good job, Adam. 3-story Tudor in prime location. Immaculate original woodwork. That is the perfect quote. Loaded with character. Very well maintained. Well, we're on the same wavelength. Okay, let's scooch from there because I want to show you something completely different. So Fort Thomas, the reason I showed you that is really great school districts. Another place with good school districts are out, as I mentioned, Ryle High School and Cooper out in Boone County. The other high schools in Boone County are Connor and Boone County High School, and both still solid high schools. Ryle and Cooper just get slightly higher marks. Now, look at the difference here, just in terms of volume. We went from 22 homes sold in the last 90 days in Fort Thomas to 164 in these 2 school districts alone. It won't even let me show that many. Let me try to filter some out here. I'm going to go over 400. Okay, so that cut down about in half. So let's take a look at some of these homes. They're going to be newer homes. They're going to be bigger homes. They're going to be more open floor plans. Homes that have been built probably within the last 30 years. Some even sooner than that. So and a lot of these are probably in the Triple Crown area. Different Hempstead, different areas in look at the days on market though. 113, 16, 17, 511, 02. One went for 51, so they overpriced it for some reason. But most of these, if I were to do a quick, let's see, I want to show you something real quick. How do I do the CMA? Oh no, here it is. Days on market. Average was 12 days on market, and that's really being lifted up by, well, that one, 152. That was probably new construction. So let's look at some of these that sold. Lock Street. I think yeah, I know where this is. I think Arling House built Marymount floor plan in Ballyshannon. Yeah, that's where one of my buyers is looking right now. Recently updated with new carpet. So let's take a look at this real quick. This is a 5-bedroom, 3-bath, 2-story, 3,150 square feet. So more modern, right? More open floor plan that you can see here. Let's see. When was this built? Age, it's 5 years old. So this was built in 2016. Okay. So that sold for, look at this. This is where the market was. So this was put on the market at the end of May. This is what I was telling you guys. It was listed for $425. It sold for $451. So that's a good example of what we had been experiencing in May. Here's another one. Okay, Bridal Gate. This one actually sold for less. So this is Triple Crown, the Charles. This was a new construction, so maybe this was that was actually probably a market-ready home by Fisher. Let me try to find something else here. Okay, Jockey Club Drive. That's probably Triple Crown. Pending when submitted. Listed for $460, sold for $450. 4-bedroom, 4-bath, 3,680 square feet. So much larger homes, more modern, big 2-story living room here, open floor plan. These look like some of the homes that I'm showing you guys in the Fisher Homes videos, right? In fact, I think this one is probably a Fisher home. Let me show you another one. Let's see what the cheapest in here is. This one sold for $405, 3 days on the market. Listed for $375, and it sold for $30,000 over. So this is exactly what I was telling you guys. All offers are due for review by Sunday, May 2nd at 3 p.m. So they listed like on a Friday, 3 days on the market. They got a bunch of offers, and they sold for $30,000 over ask price. 5-bedroom, 4-bath. That's what we've been seeing all year. That's probably what you've been seeing too. So that's a feel for where the market has been. There seems to be a slight cooling right now, as I mentioned. So if you want to get in and buy, now might be a pretty good time before it might heat back up in late August, September. So that's a feel for Boone County, some of the newer homes versus, can you guys see these photos? I guess it's a little misaligned. Sorry for that. So, okay, why don't we do this? I'm getting tired of talking and my voice is getting tired. If you are on here, jump in the chat if you got a question for me. If you want to see any other neighborhoods, let me know. How do I get this thing to fit to screen? Did that do it? Let's see here. If you guys got any questions, feel free to jump in the chat. If not, I'll bounce off here and we'll see you back next week. Oh, I don't know what that did. Let's see here. Webcam. How do I? Here, let's try to do this. That's a little better. Okay. So now you can see it a little bit more. Sorry for that. So going back to this house. A lot of carpet. Buy yourself an electronic vacuum cleaner. Nice covered patio in the back. I like that. Sherry, what's up? Thanks for jumping in. How does next year look for putting a house on the market around May? Great question, Sherry. I think, no one has a crystal ball, certainly. Most people have thought that the market would cool. I don't see that happening, just because I don't see where the inventory is going to come from. I think the inventory might loosen up a little bit with foreclosures starting to happen now. The government kind of said, okay, we're going to start allowing some foreclosures, but we're still way behind on inventory. So I've read some articles where there's like maybe 1 to 2 million homes in trouble of foreclosure, and that is sad. Nobody likes that. But in terms of the seller's market, but I think overall that's not going to keep up with the amount of demand there is from buyers. And so the builders are trying to build more, but they're having a hard time buying land and keeping up. I think May, Sherry, is always a very good time to sell. And I just showed some of that in the video of like, it's when you have the most buyers out. The only problem with selling in May is it's also when you have the most competition. So you have other people who are thinking of selling in spring. And so you have more buyers, but you also have more competition. And so generally speaking, May is a great time to sell, though. Your house is looking good. It's starting to get green. You might have some flowers blooming. Landscaping's a little easier to get done. So, yeah. Where's your house? What neighborhood are you in, or what city? And what's your plans after you sell? That's kind of the big question for a lot of people right now. It's like, what do I do after I sell? But honestly, just to finish off that question, I think you can sell a home anytime, and you can sell it in the winter. And for that same reason, I like selling in the winter, because your competition is lower, and so the people who are out shopping, there's less buyers out looking in the winter, but the buyers who are out there are more serious. In May, you get a lot of tire kickers of people who are just like wanting to kick the tires and aren't as serious. But you can sell it anytime. It really just matters what works best for your life and what you're trying to accomplish. You're in Anderson. Yeah. I lived in Anderson for 8 years. I just sold my house on Clough Pike earlier this year. I know Anderson really well. So, yeah, feel free to reach out. Let me put my email in the chat in case you want some help. I would love to help you. We're building starting in October, so roughly we will be able to put our current home on the market around then when the build is done. Building in October. That's awesome. Yeah. So I think that would work out really well. Do you a lot of the builders, I'm not sure if you've gotten this far in the building process yet, but they are they're requiring that your new loan is not contingent on the sale of any other home. And so I don't know if you've talked to the lender or with your builder on that, but because the builders have such high demand and they're selling everything, a lot of the big ones are not allowing you have to be able to qualify for a loan without it being contingent on your current home being sold. So make sure you look into that in terms of your plans and timing. Who are you building with? Already have a lender and bought our property already. Awesome. Good. Okay. I just didn't want, like, that happened with one of my clients where they had a home to sell in Dallas, and we bought a home up in Mason with Fisher Homes, and then like we were getting they were pre-approved and everything, but I didn't realize at that time, this was a little bit ago, that builders had made this switch where you couldn't have the loan contingent on the sale of another home. They could have sold their home in like 2 days in Dallas. It was a newer house in a really nice neighborhood. It was just like, oh, well, we got to figure that out within this 30-day deadline period of when you need to have the intent to proceed with the loan and the approval from the lender. So that's good. Buying with Anderson Homes. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, I think May would be great. Seems like your timing would be great. And if you can move into the new one, which is probably what you're thinking, and then leave your house vacant, that obviously makes the selling process a whole heck of a lot easier if you don't have to be living there and trying to keep the house super tidy for showings. I would recommend, if you do that and make it vacant, like it'll sell either way, but if you do that and you move out early, you might want to consider staging the home. And I've got a video coming out soon with the stagers that I use, talking about why that makes sense to do, because when you're completely vacant on the home, it shows well, but you get less emotional attachment from buyers. And when you get emotional attachment from buyers, and from a lot of buyers in particular, that's when you can get a lot of activity and multiple offers. So staging, these people who are pros at it, they blow me away how good they are. It's a marketing tool where they're trying to give you those photos that people see on the internet. They're like, oh my gosh, this house is amazing. And really it's like the same as your neighbor's house. It's just staged really well. So cool. Thanks for asking that and jumping in here, Sherry. Appreciate it. Anyone else watching have a question? Or if not, I'm going to jump out. My throat is getting tired. I had another call with the guys who do my website and kind of some of my internet marketing stuff earlier today. So I was on that for like 45 minutes. So I feel like I've been talking to the camera for a couple hours here. You are welcome. Glad to help. Yeah, if you don't have an agent, I'd love to help, Sherry. Like I said, I know Anderson very, very well. Lived there for 8 years and have a lot of friends who still live there. Cool. Well, guys, thank you for jumping in the chat. Thank you for watching this if you're watching it on the recording. And thank you to all who have been subscribing to the Team Sztanyo Clanyo. It's been fun to watch the YouTube channel these last few weeks. We've continued to have whatever we're doing, the YouTube algorithm is showing our video to more people. And a lot of people, like I said earlier, are watching that pros and cons videos. And I think it's like showing it to a lot of people here locally, and it's like testing out, is this guy legit or not? And, so people are like, I think I said on the video, we get 4 seasons and the weather's kind of cool here. Or it's nice that you get 4 seasons in Cincinnati. And other people are like, it's a frozen nightmare here, or like it's hot all the time. Like it's just funny to watch the comments where people are like angry, and it's YouTube. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends, and we'll probably catch you next week. Let me know if there's anything in the comments below, if there's any other topics you specifically want addressed. That's what this can be. If you want to ask a realtor questions, that's what this thing's all about. So I'm here for you guys, and thank you so much for watching, and